Good evening. I would like to welcome all the English teachers who are joining us tonight. My name is Simara. I'm a professor of language and literature at the Federal Institute of Education. Just a minute. I have double sound here, sorry. At the Federal Institute of Education, Science and Technology of Rio Grande do Sul, EFRS, known as FRS. I am delighted to open this first event for the series of lectures focused on teacher continuing education, given in English, as one of our goals is to provide English teachers with the opportunity of interacting, developing their communication skills, as well as sharing knowledge and experiences. That's what we need. The event is chaired by Partners of the Americas, in cooperation with the Research Department of Canoas Campus of FRS, Federal Institute of Education, Science and Technology of Rio Grande do Sul. So, a very special welcome to Partners President, Lucilena Araújo Lima, and to all the ones who have helped us with the organization for the event and who are here watching us. The lectures are going to happen once a month from April to December 2022. For the ones who attend to at least 75% of the lectures during the year and register their presence on the online form, we'll provide a certificate at the end of the year. So we'll share the form in the chat soon. Going to the meeting, to the lecture we have tonight, I'd like to say that tonight's event is entitled Gamification in English Language Teaching. And I'm especially honored to introduce today's lectures. First of all, Paula Cortese Schaeffer Cardoso Chardon is a lecturer in language at the Federal University of Parnaíba Delta. She holds a PhD in Applied Linguistics by the Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul, URGS. Her specialisms include teacher training, English as a foreign language, and English for specific purposes. Also, we have Denner da Silva Ramos, who is a language teacher at Viamão City Council in Rio Grande do Sul, and also he holds a master's degree in Applied Linguistics as well. He's also a lecturer in the bilingual EU education program at Unisinos in Rio Grande do Sul. So, introductions made. Paul and Denner, the floor is yours. Thank you for coming. We're very happy to have you here.
Good evening, everyone. Denner, I don't know if you would like to present yourself. Just saying.
Well, good evening. My name is Denner. It's a pleasure to be here. We are really, really happy. Thank you.
Yes, on behalf of Simara, we thank Partners of the Americas and IFRS for the opportunity to be here with you tonight, discussing a topic which is so important to us. We are delighted to be here, and we can start our presentation entitled Gamification in English Language Teaching. Let's see if we can share our screen here in order to start. Perfect. Thank you, Ben.
Presentation. You're welcome.
Very good. I think you can pass for the other slide. Thank you very much. So our presentation today is divided in 6 parts, which are the first part, defining gamification. Part 2 is describing gamification elements. Number 3 is applying gamification in a language classroom. Number 4, analyzing gamified tasks. 5, we are going to talk about the final considerations. And number 6, we are going to present our references. But we would like to say that although this is a lecture, it's going to be very dynamic because you're going to participate a lot throughout this presentation.
I believe you must have your cell phones in your hands.
Yes, and you can use them throughout the presentation because we are going to require you some questions and you can answer them. So in order to start, we would like to ask you some questions. First of all, we would like to know if you think that gamification is just for games, for example, or is it present in your daily lives? Do you think you use gamified apps? So we would like to start like brainstorming it, and we are going to show you some examples. I don't know why it's not. Maybe we can come and go. Then okay, perfect. Thank you. So the first example that we are going to present to you is Waze, which is one of the most used apps in the world. It uses gamified logic in its dynamics. Waze has a GPS system in which users report problems in traffic so that the app can modify the route of other drivers, avoiding traffic jams and other situations. So we think that most of you may be familiar with Waze. And what is important is that all these actions are motivated by gamification mechanisms. Users earn points with their interactions, also stimulating the collective sense that one driver can help the other, which contributes to the app offering a better experience to everyone. Thus, the sense of collaboration that can also be adopted in other gamification strategies, in addition to traditional scoring and competition, it stimulates user interaction and the improvement of the system itself. So it's very good because Waze is something that we use in our daily life usually, and it shows how some game elements are part of our daily lives.
And we also have the Habitka app. It's an app that was designed for people who want to be more productive during their days, the daily routine. So basically, it treats real life like a game. Okay, so you as a user, you can make like you create your goals, and after you achieve your goals, you just earn items. You earn new. Uh, how do you call it? Avatars, and everything. You can use it in the app afterwards. So these is one of the examples that we bring here of gamified apps that are present in our daily routine.
Very good. And now that we have already brainstormed some apps that may be part of your daily lives, we are going to start our quest. And the first part of our quest is the sentence. So, warriors, you have been given a mission. Discover what gamification is. Your journey to understand this strategy begins now.
As it begins, we have a friend with us. This is Kupo. It's a Moogle. For those of you who play Final Fantasy, the series, know that this is a character. It's a frequent character in the series. So we brought him to share ideas with us.
Kupu is going to be with us for the whole presentation, right?
So, like around the year of 2010, something called gamification emerged on Earth. Okay, even though the name seems very nice, people are still trying to understand the concept. The quest is trying to define gamification. You have to think about what you know about the theme, and then you have to send our Mentimeter your ideas so that we can bring here to talk about and discuss.
We're
So
going
you can
to
use
Sorry, then I had a delay. You may say.
no problem, no problem. You can scan the QR code with your cell phones, and also I'm going to present the Mentimeter with the code. So, based on what you know, what do you think gamification is? We can give you like 2 minutes for you to answer this.
I cannot see it yet. I don't know if the participants can. Now I can. It's opening.
Yeah, there
So
is a
how
little
you?
delay.
Yes, yes. So what you should do, guys, is you have to go on Google and you have to type menti.com, okay? And you have to use the code which is over here, which is 72755748. So you use this code in order to answer this question. So you can answer the questions and we are going to read them in 2 minutes, okay? So write your opinion. You don't need to write your names, so it's going to be completely anonymous. So you just have to write your opinion. So what do you think gamification is? Don't worry if it is correct or not. We're just brainstorming what do you think gamification is before discussing it a little bit more.
We have answers. That's great.
That's great. Do you want to read one of them? We can discuss them while people are writing
Of
them.
course.
So the first one here, it says, it has to do with using games and elements of games for educational purposes. The other one, I
That's
would guess it is learning through games.
okay. This is really frequent when asking for the first time the question.
Mhm. Oh, we have more.
Relates
You can read them, then if you want.
turning tasks competitive, earning points by doing tasks and achieving things. Yes, it has to do with that too.
Mhm. Applying game playing in the daily life.
Yeah, a way of teaching and learning based on playful, ludic activities. The people are good here. People are really good here.
Mhm. I believe it relates to applying game strategies to create learning opportunities. Very good.
That's
We
perfect.
have
That's
many
exactly.
good answers. Yes.
I think it's a
And
way to learning with games in a funny way. Yes, fun is a key word during the gamification processes. I believe we can go on, right?
yes, definitely.
Okay, let me share again. I'm sharing.
Mhm.
Okay, there we go.
Very good. So, warriors, we have come up with a definition. The concept was finally revealed. Let's discuss it a little bit. So here we are going to present for you one of the definitions. So what is gamification? So gamification is using game-based mechanics, aesthetics, and game thinking to engage people, motivate action, promote learning, and solve problems. So this is one of the definitions for gamification.
So in my masters, like I finished my masters last year in 2021, and my results they allowed me to relate gamification with additional language teaching. What did I do? According to my conclusions, I understand gamification as dealing with the application of video games elements as a way of promoting students' autonomy regarding the use of the target language through interaction process and literacy purposes. So that's what I did in my research. Why? My research started when I read this article by G, in which he talks about games and learning. He says that popular culture organizes learning and problem solving. So these games, when they are, in our students' daily lives, they present logical constructions, and the students learn things through them. So, I am a video game player. That's why I started researching those things. So the games, they allow the players to create new identities, and they portray themselves in the game. Because when you are playing a game, it's different from watching a movie, because you are just living the context of a game. So you are living the narrative. So players, they learn through a distinctive identity. So a character, he incorporates a character, okay, or he creates, or he or she, they can create characters. And those games, they teach players at the same time in which players are practicing. What is this? When you play a game, you don't read a manual for playing, you just play it, because the games, they have this structure and they are based on teaching you while you are playing. So you don't need a manual, you just go there and do it.
And there are many reasons to gamify an English class. Actually, any class. We just focus here on English class because we know that our interlocutor are English teachers, but we have selected four main reasons to gamify an English class. So first of all, gamification promotes practices based on solving real life problems. Gamification creates conditions for students to be protagonists in their learning processes. Gamification allows autonomy development, and gamification develops critical thinking. And there is a difference between game-based learning and gamification. As we can see through these pictures, what makes them different is the context, right? So in the first one, the game-based learning, thank you, Daniel. We have a game with educational purposes. It's not necessarily conducted by a teacher because the students can play by themselves if they want to.
While
And
in
then, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please.
I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
sorry. It's you. Go, please.
It happens, we are online. While in gamification, there is the presence of a teacher who will transform the context into an educational context into a game simulated context. So the teacher mediates the classes and the tasks, and the teacher allows the students to feel like the real life, or like real life is a game. So it's not ready. We have to have a teacher who plans a teacher that plans the classes and develop things and make students produce things. So that's it. That's very good. You did really well. You earned 300 experience points. You level up. You're now level 2. Congratulations. You just earned this item, the Hermione's wand. With this item, you can ask Kupo 2 questions, but you can only use once because it self-destructs after it's used. Now it's time to learn about the elements of gamification.
Very good. And we have divided the gamification elements in 6 categories, which are narrative, quests and challenges, point system, reward system, levels, and player profile. Now we are going to talk about them in the following slides. So the narrative, it is the story that structures the gamification process. With a narrative, it is possible to choose a theme and authentic text to create didactic units. Also, the story must focus on solving problems.
Then we have the quests and the challenges, and we are going to see the difference between them. The quests, we know the quests in additional language teaching as didactic unit. And the challenges, they can be seen as the tasks. So why? This is an example of a game that brings quests. So we have a quest here. Family Matters, that's the name of the quest. This game is The Witcher 3, by the way. We have the quest, which is the whole didactic unit. We can think it like this. And we have the challenges here that are completed. Those ones were completed by me. And those tasks, you can perform them as the challenges, and you can see the didactic unit as the quest in a narrative. Because, when you gamify, you can create a narrative that it may be created by the teacher, but with the narrative, you have the theme, and then you can choose authentic texts. So texts from real life to work with the students. We also have the point system. What is the point system? The point system is very diverse, because you can have the total points, which you can equal to the student's grades. Okay, so the total points record the progress of the students or the group. Okay, the experience points, those points are they compose the level of the students, which will be another gamification element. And the experience points, as you earn 300 experience points some slides ago, make you level up. Okay, so it can record the progression of the students, so the student can see where and when they had progress. Okay, and then you have the exchange points, which are points that you can use with the students, so they earn points after completing challenges, and they can use those points to exchange for items to use during the process of the gamification didactic unit. So we also have the reward system. The reward system is the one that deals with earning things. One important thing is you must, I like to work in a perspective in which earning things is not seen as, the Skinner perspective on. Do you remember the name, Paula?
It's like we are reinforcing that they're having a good behavior.
Yes, good, yes. Not in the way. It's important that if you work with items are elements from gamification that you can use. You can give the students the items after they finish a task or a challenge or a quest. But it's important that the item that you give the item has to have like a function, just like Hermione's wand. You can use it to ask 2 questions. You just don't give it to reinforce like a positive behavior, right? And then you can have the trophies, medals, or achievements. It depends on how you want to. Actually, those names are the same. You just choose whatever you want to use. Those elements, they function as a way to mark, like you can see what you achieved so far during the progress. So it's important that you can make like a list of trophies for each student, and when they are completing the challenges, they unlock the trophies. Okay.
And before you move on, then it's something that it's very important to highlight, I believe, is that differently from a game in which only one student wins or one group, here all can win. All students can receive items. All students can receive trophies, medals, and achievements. It's not something that the first one to complete is going to receive. No, they are going to follow their path. They're going to do the activity, and they're going to receive an item that is going to have some way of using that again in their own class, right? We're going to show you some examples later.
Yes, and this is important because the competition is not a bad competition. Okay, you make a good competition. It's a healthy competition.
Okay, so about the levels, levels refer to the student's progress and they increase when learners earn enough experience points. As the students gain levels, the tasks get even more difficult. So you can progress, you can give them easier tasks at the beginning, and then you can move forward to more difficult tasks.
Perfect. So, and also the player profile, go on.
Yes, we have the player profile, which is a visual resource that summarizes the students' information, such as levels, experience points, or even the icons. And the students can track this, they can create their own. It's not in charge of the teacher. And this is nice because the teacher is going to mediate, but the student has an active role. So he's going to create his avatar, he's going to fulfill his player profile as he's going to level up or win some trophies or even experience points.
Okay, it's important that you know that we brought some game pictures for you to understand why those elements they exist in educational purposes. Why? Where do they come from? From the games. So this is an example of player profile from a game. Okay, so this is the we have a scroll for you. Okay, you can use your smartphone to scan the QR code, and you will access a PDF file where you will find the definition of many gamification elements. Okay, we're going to leave it here for you to scan and download it for like 1 minute, and we are also going to post the links on the comments.
I have just shared the link in the comments in the chat. I don't know if the participants can see it, but maybe Partners of America can share it. So you can access all this information. It is all summarized. You can take a look at it at home. Sometimes now there are a lot of information that we are talking about, and maybe you can take a look at it later and read it again, right? And you can or scan this QR code or use the link we have just shared with you.
Okay, so after investigating the scroll, it's time for us to play a little bit more.
Yes, and we are going to need your cell phones again. I don't know if you have already played Kahoot.it, but you are going to have to use your cell phone and you have to go to Google again and type Kahoot.it. And we are going to share some questions with you. Don't worry, it's just to have more interaction with you. There is no problem if you write it like you give a wrong answer or something like that. Is to have more contact with you throughout our presentation. We're just going to share with you.
Go.
Let's wait a little bit. So what you have to do is the following. You have to, maybe then you have to turn off the sound.
Okay, great.
Thank you. And what you have to do is the following. You have again, or you have to scan the QR code, or you have to go and type Kahoot.it and use the game pin, which is over there. It is 4001482. And you can write your name or you can use an avatar name. It's not necessary to be your own name. You can create a profile to play with us. Okay? We are going to wait. Yes, it's up to you. You can choose an avatar name, or you can use a character name, or you can use your own name. We're going to wait a little bit more because we know technology sometimes is complicated. So we have here 3 participants. Let's wait a little bit more. Don't worry, Fernanda. I'm seeing here that she's saying that I am watching your talk through the phone. Later, we can share this link with you. There is an option for those of you who doesn't know Kahoot, and which is very interesting, is that you can assign to students to use it in the asynchronous hours. So you can later we can share with partners of the Americas, and they can share with you if it's possible, or you can just like talk, like see this right now and do with us. Do with us. Don't worry, okay? It's just to
Okay. I'm going to start. Okay.
okay.
So be ready. Oh, hey, we have Minerva here. Minerva is the name of my cat. Okay. So
And maybe
here
it's a
we.
character from Harry Potter world, right?
Yes, yeah,
Very good.
probably. Or it is the name of the person. Okay,
Yes, yes,
let's
it
go.
could be as well, which is a very beautiful name. So, understanding
Yes.
gamification elements. You have to read the question and answer. You're not going to see the answer on your phone. You're going to see just the colors, okay? So, this gamification element defines the level of difficulty of tasks. Actually, over there is tasks, not tasks, okay?
We only have one answer. Two answers.
With two now.
Okay.
5 answers, that's good.
Oh,
Very
great.
good, guys. It's levels, right? So this is what defines the level of difficulty of that. Let's continue. Very good. True or false? This is double point. The element ability board shows trophies achieved during a quest. Very good. It's false. Let's continue.
Yeah, it's actually the trophies. Let's go.
Yes, yes. You can make some comments then. The
All right.
quests are structured by narratives. True or false? True, very good. We have just
True,
seen
very
that.
good. We have a narrative, then we have a quest.
Let's continue. We have 2 more questions. Double points. What is the gamification element achieved by the students after completing challenges or quests? What do you think? Very good. Items. It is items. Let's continue. Number 5. Narrative is a story that it structures a set of challenges in a quest. We need one more answer. Very good. True. We have just seen that, right?
Great.
And the last one. The ability board marks abilities learned by the students. What do you think? True or false? We need one more question. And it's true. Very good. Then you may go to that's it, to the presentation back. Thank you very much for the participation.
Here we go.
Of course, this is just to summarize our discussion. You can check it later. Don't worry about that.
Yes, Nata, you always deserve a trophy. Nata has watched me many times talking about this.
Very good. And so, question number 2, complete. Congratulations, warriors! You've just achieved the trophy, elemental player. Because you mastered the gamification elements, you received the item green mushroom and 400 experience points. You need more 500 experience points to level up once again and achieve level 3. Let's go for it. So green mushroom means if you make mistake, sorry, I didn't, I think that's it. If you make a mistake while answering a question, you can eat this mushroom to have an extra chance to answer it. You have only one, use it wisely.
Okay, so here we have the class 3. It is time to see how to apply gamification in our classes. Okay, so Kupo has tips for us.
Very good.
First of all, think about the students that you have. Are they from a context where they don't have technology? Do they have technology? Okay, secondly, think about a theme and then create a narrative, because when you create a narrative and you have the theme, you can look for authentic texts. So after that, you define the objectives of your classes. So what do they need to learn? What do you want them to achieve?
The fourth step is to analyze the materials available at the school. For example, is there a lab room? Does it have an internet connection? Do students have their mobiles? Is it allowed to use mobiles inside the classroom? Does the school provide Wi-Fi? This is essential as it is based on the school's resources and regulations that the teacher can define if he or she is going to use technology or other resources. These are some ideas that may support your lesson plan, but they are not fixed steps. The fifth, it is also necessary to determine the gamification elements that will be used, and finally, create the gamified task or the didactic unit. So I believe that due to our time, we are not going to have time to go to this Menti, but we would like to make you think, wonder, or think about it. Like, is it possible to gamify a class without any technological resources? If so, how can we do that? We were going to ask you some examples on Menti, but we are going to go to the examples, okay, that we have brought to you.
So here we have like paper, colored pen, cardboards. They are the best resources in these moments, okay? You can use the cardboards to create ability boards, so you can create with the students a journey guide, the notebooks within their notebooks, so that they can register the items they have, the trophies they achieve, the abilities they master, the possibilities, they are infinite. Okay, so here we have some examples, okay? So
Yes,
do you want to talk about it?
I can do it. This is from one of my classes. And I have here the first image is when they started and at the end of the quest that we had. So generally, a gamified task or teaching unit is associated with technology. Nevertheless, as you can see on this slide, we do not need to use technology because a gamified task or a teaching unit is related to the gamification element. So here we have, for example, the avatar. They could not choose the character, but they could choose the names, for example. We see that there are 5 levels. We have rare items. And there is another example from Denner's class.
Which is, don't look at my handwriting. It's terrible, I know. But as you can see, we needed to work with a linguistic resource, which is the present simple, and we had to kill the monster. To kill the monster, we need to discover the weaknesses. And how do we do that? We make them fill the gaps, filling the gaps with the correct form of the present simple. And if they did it correctly, the monster is dead. So congratulations, warriors. You leveled up. Okay. Now you are level 3, which makes you masters on gamification.
Very good. And we are finally moving to the end of our talk because we want to talk to you as well. And so we are going just now. Cuckoo actually has provided some gamified reading tasks to inspire you. So we are going to go very fast here just to show you a gamified task, a reading task actually that Denner and I created. I don't know if it is showing for you. Okay, perfect. So Denner and I have designed this teaching unit based on our own classes. We taught this unit in some workshops and we have also used this in our classes. The name of this didactic unit is Women Who Inspire, Seeking for a Guardian. The main genre used in this unit is biography. Students have contact with some biographies from women who had an important role in our society, and then later they have to write a biography about a person in their community who inspires them. So, sorry, go, Danny, please.
They created their avatar to begin with, and then they have the first quest. So the quest, that's when we presented the theme. Okay, Paula will talk about it.
Yeah, so the theme was about actually this first quest was in order to brainstorm some ideas. So they had some questions. We created all this narrative, and at the end, they would open a scroll, right? And they would read those questions that we are going to show right now. That's it. So they would read these questions and discuss with the other students. So they had all their narrative. They had to communicate with the other classmates. They had to talk about the topic that was the theme of our didactic unit. And then there was task 2, right? Which is our quest number 2. Quest number 2 is we would like just to show you first that we did not use technology. We had these charts. They would receive each group. They were divided in groups, and they would receive this chart in order to fulfill it with information from the biographies. You may go to the other page, Denner. Thank you. So what we did, we spread all over the classroom some QR codes. They used their cell phones in order to find the biography, and they would have to fill the charts based on the biography they had access to.
And then we also printed those 2 profiles there, those 2 biographies, and glued on the walls so that we could show the teachers that were working with us that you can gamify without any technological resources.
That's true. We put in the other side, right, on the back of the QR codes to show them that it was there, that the students could just turn it. And what they received is that before we started, we said to them, so you are going to receive some points, some experience points for each information you fill in the chart. But there are also some extra rare items. And then we show them where they were, and then each group would achieve this if they had completed that specific space in the chart. And then we are not going to, just to interrupt you, sorry, Denner, just to say that we are not going to show quest 3 because it was a very big task. It was a reading task, and each group received a different biography, and they had to analyze the genre, answer some questions related to the content and the genre. So this is why we are not going to show that, because it was very big and it would take a lot of time here.
Yes. And quest 4 is a post-reading activity. Okay, it's a post-reading task. And in this task, the students were supposed to write a biography about a woman and their lives. That was really important. And not only those students who finished the biography could receive experience points. Okay, everybody would receive okay, as we talked about before. Everybody wins, okay, so it's a healthy competition, okay. So here we are at our final considerations.
So gamification can be understood as a teaching method that can be used with different methodologies in an additional language classroom. Gamifying the English language class, therefore, can occur in contexts that have technologies or not, because what is modelized are the mechanics of games, which can be taken to the most diverse contexts of additional language teaching. So I think that this is the most important aspect that we want to emphasize and highlight. You do not need technology. You just need to incorporate these gamified elements, okay?
So people, congratulations, you've just unlocked the red mushroom achievement or trophy, whatever you want to say. So this trophy symbolizes your development as a teacher that mastered the gamification ability. So congratulations and thank you very much. Kupo is thanking you, okay, for concluding the journey with us. These are our references, and thank you, people.
Thank you very much.
We are very happy to be here. It's very nice.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Dana. That was amazing. I don't know if you could now take your, yeah, that's it. The screen was being shared. So first of all, I would like to thank you both for accepting the invitation and for such an interesting and exciting moment. Gamification. Actually, these elements all the time as the basis of all your lecture. So that was a great experience as we managed to practice it during your talk. It was very creative, as you are, I know you are. And I believe gamification can be a very effective way of developing our students, English students' communication skills. So I don't know, let's see if you have questions or comments to share. If somebody would like to share the comments or to ask a question in the chat, you still have some time. We are going to close this meeting, this moment at 8 sharp, but still have a few minutes.
So we have a question there. Is this
Yeah,
amazing doc? No, it's not in the doc, but we plan to publish it. So
that's it. That's a short answer. Yeah.
yes.
But we can share it, Mara. I don't know how it works, but if you can share with the participants, for us, there is no problem. We can make like a PDF version and we can share with you this material.
Yeah, that's important. That's one more reason for the ones who haven't filled the form, the registration form, for them to do it. So we are going to use this registration form. You can see the link in the chat. So we are going to send this material to all the emails which are there registered. Okay, I'm excited to give a look at this material as well. I think there's lots of things to be used and to learn with. I don't know if you have any other questions. I have one question for you. You've shown lots of resources, you've shared them. So from all this material you have created and shared and talked about, which one or which ones you find most effective or the most effective for English teaching and learning? So let's imagine maybe those teachers who are not so, I know you talk that gamification doesn't mean technology, but the ones who want to use technology through gamification, but are not so confident. So what do you suggest from the beginning?
Okay. I suggest the Mentimeter and the Kahoot because they are easy to use. So teachers who want to start using gamification, they can use those two resources. They are really, intuitive. You just go there, you create your Kahoots. There are many Kahoots that are ready to go. So you just look for them and then start with the students, okay? And then you can assign as task for students. I believe this is a good resource. Um, Paula, would you like to
Yes,
suggest?
I would say that for me, although I am young, I'm not very technological. And I had an experience while I was a teacher in basic education. And what was very interesting was that students mastered a lot technology. So I used the avatar. So they knew websites to create their own cards. So it was very nice because I think that we can put on their hands this beginning, and then we can start doing like the narratives and the theme, the items. But we can think that, for example, they can create their avatars. So they will have to do that, and we can just mediate it. For example, they can create their cards. For example, it's not just the avatar, but they can have, for example, you can give points like strength. They may, for example, the force. They are like those cards from. Then is going to know better than I. But I created like, what is the name of that? It's cards from a very famous game. My students created that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! I
Yeah,
believe.
this is it. This is it. Yu-Gi-Oh! It was very similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! And I found a website which did that. And they created the avatar. They had to put their powers. They had to something was that was very nice in that experience was that they had to create a very brief description of their avatar. So they had to know how to spell some parts of their bodies. They had to say, for example, their personality. So we use a lot of language in order just to make a Yu-Gi-Oh card. And they continue with that for the whole semester.
That's very interesting because sometimes the teachers they're afraid, but the students are not. So if you bring the students to the stage and let them create, we don't need to suffer by doing something. We can get involved, and that's the teaching and learning process. We learn with them, they learn with us. That's the basis of education. Have we got any other questions? I don't think so. So I think we are moving towards the end now. If you don't have any other questions, so we are going to close this first section of a wider idea, wider organization we had from Partners of the Americas, which is this series of lectures based on teaching education, so teaching continuing education. So on behalf of, I would like to say as well that Lucilena, who is Partners of the Americas president, she's here sharing and watching as well. So on behalf of Partners of the Americas, and also as part of the Federal Institute of Education, Science and Technology of Rio Grande do Sul, I would like to thank Paul and Dene for this great moment of knowledge shared, for this amazing time with so many ideas, so much knowledge shared. And most of all, I would like to thank the participants for being here, for taking part in this first event. We'll have more, okay? And all the ones who helped with the organization, our team, which is on the backstage, they are very important as all the other ones. And also, for us to finish, I'd like to say that our next event is booked for the 25th of May, Wednesday, probably at 7 p.m. as well. And it's going to be with Professor Luciane de Oliveira Moreira, who is an English teacher, and she studied English literature. So you have another idea, other ideas on teaching English. She is going to talk about teaching English through literature and culture as a whole. So that will be the idea. And all the ones who have registered, they are going to receive later on all the information about this next event. And for the ones who participate during the year and attend to at least 75% of the lectures during the year, register their presence on the online form, we'll provide a certificate at the end of the current year. Okay? So I think that's it. Yes, we'll send you a reminder. Don't worry. Okay? On via email, and partners of the Americas team, they are going to spread the word as well. Okay, I don't know if you have any final talk to give, Paul and Dinner.
I just would like to thank you once again, because it was an amazing time to be here sharing with you and talking to you about a topic that we like very much, right, Dinner?
Yes, I'd also like to thank you very much again. It was a pleasure to be here. If you guys need anything, my email was there. Probably it will be shared with you soon. So thank you a lot.
Yes.
So guys, that's it. Thank you. And we are going to wait for you for our next meeting. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.